Some of you might be brand new here, and others of you might just know me as that girl who scuba dives on the internet. But actually what my full-time job is as an aquarist. And you might know what that is, but usually for me it comes with a lot of questions and misunderstanding about what the job actually is. So let's talk about it. So what is an aquarist? Aquarist is basically someone who manages an aquarium and cares for the aquatic animals such as fish or invertebrates. But that's a very, very simplified version of what the job actually entails. So I'm gonna go over all the questions that you might have and all the information that I think is important for you to know if you're thinking about starting your career as an aquarist. So first, let's talk about what the qualifications of the job are. So in most instances, you will need a 4-year degree in biology, zoology, or some sort of related field from an accredited university. It's also going to be important for you to have some experience related to animal care. So any animal care experience is going to be good, but if you are looking to get into a specific area, then experience related to that area is going to be obviously more beneficial. Some other things that are going to be important for you to carry into the field is going to be having knowledge in things like water quality, fish health and disease, animal behavior, fish biology, and things like that. Then there are some technical skills involved as well. There's a lot of equipment involved in running an aquarium, so skills in plumbing, electrical, and maintenance in general are very important in this field. Now let's talk about the responsibilities of an aquarist, which will give you an idea of what the day-to-day can kind of look like. So it's a common misconception that aquarists just spend their entire day swimming around with the fishes having fun. That's actually a much lower percentage of what the responsibilities are of the job. The exact breakdown of your responsibilities is going to vary depending on what types of systems you work with, what types of animals you work at, and what facility you're at. But to just give you a general idea, diving is only about 10 to up to 20% of the job responsibility. And during these dives, you're definitely not swimming around playing with the fish. Your dives are largely going to be maintenance dives where you're spending the time scrubbing algae, vacuuming the substrate. You might be catching a fish for some sort of treatment or care, or just doing maintenance of the exhibit in general. So then what does the other 80 to 90% of your day consist of? Well, there's food prep and feeding of the animals to make sure that the fish are getting a diverse diet and are well fed and healthy. There's water quality to make sure that the water parameters are safe and healthy for the fish. There may be treatments to be done for fish that have any health concerns. Then there's the life support systems that are all the pumps and filters and equipment behind the scenes that keeps the tank running. All need to be maintained. So a huge part of the job is just making sure that the equipment is running properly and keeping up with the routine maintenance tasks of those pieces of equipment. This can be things like changing O-rings, doing media stirs, doing backwashes, cleaning quart sleeves, cleaning protein skimmers, and on and on and on and on. All right, so you're still with me and you're still interested, but how do you get started? So let's talk about that. So the best way to get into this industry is to gain experience. So a great way to gain experience in the field is through volunteer work and internships. So a great place to find internships and jobs for aquarists is on the AZA website. I'll have that linked in the description below. AZA is the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, and they have a job board on their website where zoos and aquariums all across the country, at least in the US, I don't know about other countries, can post internships and jobs that they have available at the time. So that's one place that you can seek out some opportunities, but there are plenty other ways that you can get experience as well. Whether it's a nature center, rehabilitation centers, helping with research at your university, and so on and so forth. Any animal care work is going to be a step in the right direction. Do some Google searching and you'd be surprised at all the opportunities that you can find. All right, now let's get into the real nitty-gritty of it, which is how much will you actually make? What's the pay? And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this is definitely an industry fueled by passion and not profit. Now, the exact pay is going to depend on the area that you're in, and I'm speaking from experience in the United States only, so I can't say for certain in other countries. A lot of times the entry-level positions will start at minimum wage. This is definitely a field where a lot of people hold multiple jobs and also tend to live with a lot of roommates in order to afford living. So now let's talk about the pros and the cons. While we're already on the topic, let's go right into the cons. So obviously, as we just mentioned, the low pay. You don't really make a lot of money, which can sometimes be a struggle and definitely causes people to leave the field. This is also a job that's going to be very labor intensive. So you're spending a lot of your day up on your feet, walking around. There's pipes and equipment and ladders and things that you have to climb around on. You're going to be actively diving. There can be heavy salt bags that you have to carry. It's definitely more physical activity than your average job. A typical job posting will state that you need to be able to lift at least 50 pounds. And in my experience, lifting 50 pounds is something that comes up pretty frequently in my day-to-day. It's not something that's just one-off, so it is definitely relevant. When you're dealing with animals, really anything can happen at any time, so you're kind of always on call in case of an emergency. So along with this, another thing with working with live animals is that they don't take weekends and holidays off. They still need to be cared for, they still need to be fed, all these things, so you don't always get weekends or holidays off. But enough with all the negativity, now let's talk about what the pros are of the job. First and foremost, let's talk about what actually keeps people in this field, which is the passion. It is very much a passion job. It can be a very demanding job. It is something that you have to truly love so deeply with all your heart that all of the extra added stress and troubles and struggles are absolutely worth it. So another thing is that it's a very active job. So you're always up and about and more hands-on and tactical with your work. And the most obvious one being that it's a very cool job. The work that we do and the experiences we get to have are definitely very unique and very special to this field, and we get to experience things that most other people don't ever get to experience in a way that most other people don't get to experience them. So if you have any other questions, don't forget to leave those in the comments below. And if you're interested in learning more about jobs involving scuba diving, then stick around because I have compiled a group of people that work in various parts of the industry that would love to share what they do with you. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you underwater. Bye!